your body fat is held in place by what amounts to a scaffolding system. It's called the extracellular matrix. And the truth is, all tissues in the body have this. They all have an extracellular matrix. But here's the thing that really has never been talked about until I wrote about it back in 2019. Um, the extracellular matrix is composed of very specific kinds of proteins and collagens and fibers, and they are different. Like when you lose weight and regain weight, the extracellular matrix has to break down. So the analogy is imagine that we were going to remodel your house, and what we have to do is move some rooms. We got to tear some walls down, and then we're going to build some walls back. The act of tearing down the walls, it can do a lot of damage.
It makes everything
And
unstable.
right. And
Mhm.
then when we go to rebuild the walls, just imagine that we're not using the same types of building materials that were in the wall originally. We're loading in where we used wood before, now we're using steel. Okay. That's very much what happens in the body. So there's very specific types of collagen in the extracellular matrix that when it breaks down and then has to reshape and reform, very often a stiffer type of fiber, going from wood to steel is loaded into the ECM. Now, here's the part that's mind blowing. Those fibers are mini computers. They are a combination of a signal that it's like a cell phone tower and a computer combined.
Mhm.
So what they do is these fibers that are stiffer, they are inflammatory in nature. They are inflammatory fibers. So they act like a cell phone tower that's sending out, frequency. And if you're too close to it, you're getting inflamed, right?
Mhm.
The other thing they do is they program the fat cell. So they send signals back to the fat cell and to program all kinds of things, like the types of immune cells that are going to be around your fat, all kinds of things. Now, if you're one of the lucky winners like yourself, where you go through a fat loss journey, you're young enough, and you stay on it, and then it sticks, you really don't see too much of this. But for 80% of people, roughly, what happens is when they regain the weight, they have changed the makeup. In other words, they've gone from wood to steel in the walls of the extracellular matrix. And imagine that those steel pillars that now make up the matrix, they also have transmitters in them. And so what happens is the fat becomes somewhat inflammatory. And the more you do it, the more the fibers change out from wood to steel, so to speak. And so eventually what happens is by the time you're like 50, the extracellular matrix is incredibly stiff